At the Angelics Fair in heaven, Eric was just promoted to the rank of Guardian Angel, very much stressed about what the role entails and isn't celebrating as he should. He is approached by Michael the Archangel, who presses him for secluding himself away from everyone instead of celebrating, especially since he'll be going on some dope adventures soon, a term Michael got from the Urban Dictionary, and advises Eric that he should get familiar with it, especially since he is going to be around humans now, and it will make him seem more relatable. But Eric is more concerned with getting his introductions down for when he finally meets his cadets. Michael, taking a look at the list of Eric's cadets, notices he has a strong looking group of young people, to which Eric states, of course, God only chooses the best and the brightest after all. Oh boy. While going through the list, Michael notices an urgent red dot next to one of Eric's cadets, named Caleb. Eric hadn't noticed that before, but mucks it all up to most likely being nothing. Caleb, however, is currently in the middle of a fight in a church backyard against two fellas who stole a kid's wallet. They had the upper hand on him at first, but Caleb eventually takes them down and returns the wallet to the kid with a tax, of course, telling the kid that he gotta learn to be grateful, right as he runs into his mom. The mother of one of the sons immediately raises a complaint about Caleb's behavior to his parents, stating that he belongs in a prison, angry at the fact that a lot of parents have been complaining about Caleb's behavior for a long time and his parents seem to do nothing about it but cuddle him. He went from picking fights at school, on the streets, and now at church. At this rate, it looks like he's never going to change. When Caleb and his mom gets home, he tries to justify the fight and the post-fight tax he got himself into earlier, even getting heated with his mother, who tells him this behavior has to stop, stating that she is the one who drags him to that stupid place every week anyway, and she tries to explain to her son that as a mother, loving him means telling him when he is wrong. Caleb instead storms off to his room, slamming the door behind him, responding to his friends that he is finally out of church and is on his way. A while later, Eric knocks on the front door. Caleb's mom at first thought it was probably the delivery man, but when she opens it, she is greeted by Eric telling her, "Fear not, for he is an angel of God," responding quite frankly the way anyone would. She is startled and drops a drink. Inside of the house, Eric apologizes and offers to replace a drink, going on to explain that he is here to speak to her son, and Miss Thompson responds, "Oh no, of course that's why an angel is here. You're taking him away for punishment, right? Please don't take away my son. Sure, he acts out and even put graffiti on the church wall once, but he can't be that bad enough for an angel to come." But Eric clears up that Caleb isn't in any trouble, but has been chosen to join him in an important task from heaven. Excited, she heads to get her son from his room, only to discover that he snuck out again, telling Eric, on second thought, "You sure you don't want to take him away?" She then calls Caleb's friend Trevor, trying to get onto her son, who is currently in the middle of helping them steal an arcade machine, assuring them that he is fine with the plan and that his mom doesn't know about what they are up to. Jason, however, is concerned on what would really happen if they got caught because he isn't built for juvie. But they tell him they have it all figured out because no one will even notice that it's gone since the arcade is being closed down anyway. While hoisting the machine into the back of the truck, a miscommunication leads to the machine landing on Caleb's hand, badly squeezing it. Trevor apologizes and tells him that he could get some bandages from the bathroom of the arcade. But while cleaning his wound, Trevor calls stating that they were spotted by the police and had to leave him behind, else they would have been caught, but assures him that they will meet him at the meetup spot. The cops then survey the area to see if anything was taken, unaware that Caleb is hiding out in the alley until he accidentally knocks over some rubbish, making them suspicious but not enough to check it out. Then comes Eric, teleporting to Caleb's location, telling him, "Fear not, Caleb Thompson, I am Eric, an angel of God." But Caleb, still hiding from the police, pulls Eric behind the dumpster, hoping that the police didn't hear them. But they did and orders them to come out from behind the dumpster. At this point, Eric is completely confused as to how Caleb was even chosen, especially with the fact that he is being chased by the police. Caleb then pretends to hug Eric and ask him for help, but really he just wanted to get close enough to steal Eric's teleportation device. While Eric tries to reason with the officer, Caleb fiddles with the device until he gets it to activate, teleporting out of the situation with the only thing Eric can utter is "You got to be kidding me." Caleb is teleported into the air, and lucky for him, he breaks his fall in a haystack. Unfortunately for him, however, the device also came crashing down, but it falls to the ground, breaking on impact, leaving him stranded wherever he is. But at least he is no longer back in the alley with the cops. Caleb then wanders through the streets trying to make sense of where he is, as he surely is far from home and hungry, deciding to steal some kebabs, at least I think that's what it's called, from a vendor, but is caught by a Pharisee who scolds him, saying, "Disgusting. To steal is wicked enough, but to do so in Jerusalem during Passover," and Caleb, shocked, interrupts, "Hold up, Grams. Did you say Jerusalem? I am a Pharisee, and you shall speak to me with respect, boy. The law is clear, child or not, there must be punishment for this grave crime," with the probable punishment being to cut off his hand. But just in the nick of time, the shopkeeper he stole from offers to cover the cost of what Caleb did, pleading for there to be no violence, with Caleb getting away with a warning. As the crowd disperses, a kid comes up to Caleb to give him Eric's teleportation device that fell out of his pocket. When the Pharisee sees it, it does catch his attention. Caleb then asks the kid if he can believe that they almost killed him back there, and the kid responds, "Well, you did steal, you know," and the kid tells him to just not do it anymore. Caleb tells the kid that he does owe him one and asks who he even is. "Oh, I haven't introduced myself. I am Jesus, Jesus of Nazareth." Wait, for real? That is a solid line right there. The Pharisee, still monitoring Caleb and Jesus from a distance, has a different reaction to that information, to say the least. Caleb then spends the evening with Jesus, explaining to him that in a few years he will be depicted with pale skin, blue eyes, straight hair, based on a picture he saw in a church once, as well as explaining to him the concept of church, to which Jesus responds, "Sounds like this church is similar to the temple. Most go to the temple thinking it will make them better people, but God does more than just make people better. He makes them brand new. So by putting faith in Him is how one can be truly different. The church and temple can only take you so far. And what makes you think I want to be different, huh? No one is perfect the way they are, and yet despite those imperfections, God never abandons us." Caleb then asks Jesus if anyone ever tells him that he's kind of odd for a 12-year-old, to which Jesus says all the time. While they're wrapping up their conversation and thinking about heading back, the Pharisee, however, finds them and slams into Caleb, demanding to know where he got the teleportation device from, especially since he's not a guardian or a child from the school. And Jesus pulls the Pharisee off of Caleb, who collapses immediately. Caleb thanks him and wonders what Jesus even did to him, but all Jesus did was touch him. As the Pharisee lays on the ground, something like a dark energy emits out of him, eventually forming into a giant demon that now stands face to face with Caleb and Jesus. We end off this issue with Jesus not allowing Caleb to say the Lord's name in vain, and the demon slamming its fist down on Caleb and Jesus. Is that the end of Caleb's story? Well, we shall find out in the future. So with that, let's put Calvary Academy issue 1 on our Christian fiction judgment scale. For the story, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. I really like the story a lot, and it was such a fun read. It's just that there were some dialogue points that were not my cup of tea personally. Roman soldiers telling a kid whose hand he was about to cut off within like 3 minutes of meeting him for the first time, lucky brat, is one of them. And the church fight, I like the concept of what they were trying to tell of Caleb's behavior, especially how it transitioned to that after Eric and Michael's conversation, But the reason for the fight for me is what I don't really get personally, especially at the church. Like, I have been to wild youth camps and youth groups before, and not saying something like this can't happen, especially with the kind of scenarios that Youth Group Chronicles documents. But it's just the way it was framed is what I don't get personally, especially since the mom that complained was the mother of one of the boys who was stealing from the kid in the first place. Yo, Joel, if this is based on true events, please do let me know in the comments. But other than that, this was a solid first issue. And I must add that the arcade robbery aspect was really well done. I really like that approach to Caleb's character in this first issue. When it comes to artwork and creativity, it's a 5 out of 5. Really like the art style, and I think it was well done, and the concept is quite intriguing, especially the aspects of it that I have seen on the Calvary Academy Instagram of where the story will be going in the future. A guardian angel tasked with assembling a team of young people for a grand task from heaven is quite intriguing. Angels having an urban dictionary reminds me of some funny Christian TikToks I have come across from creators like Ariel Fitz.
Don't say nobody warned you when you get there. Hey, sorry I'm late. Angel, where have you been? I was busy fighting some demons. You know, they really acting up these days with Jesus coming real soon and all. Oh, how nice.
And how can I not mention time traveling to 2000 BC and having a one-on-one with young Jesus? Reminds me of the concept of Bible X, Gate Zero, and Superbook, which are Christian IPs that I really like a lot. But I do need more convincing, and I am certain I'll get it in the next issues. Because currently, when it comes to theological basis, it's a 4 out of 5. The concept of an angel assembling a group of young people for a special task from heaven, time traveling and having a one-on-one with Jesus, and Pharisees manifesting into demons all sound like a very cool concept, but it is also a concept, if not done right, can easily drift into madness by rewriting Bible stories for the sake of being imaginative and changing the entire meaning of a passage, which is something we don't co-sign on the channel and have thus far with an ongoing series that is trying a similar angle, been having not too good of an experience with being 2 issues into the comic series thus far. I do have hope that Calvary Academy will execute the concept well, especially after reading the story and art guide that came with my purchase of the comic for being one of the first 20 people to buy it. But I want to see where the story goes issue by issue when it comes to time travel and angels and demons in Jesus' time, knowing about the time traveling angels and their school of time traveling children. You get what I mean? Like, that sounds really cool. But if issue 5 entails that this band of time traveling angels and chosen children have a part to play with Moses and the 10 plagues, we gonna have a bone to pick. And I'm not referencing it in the way how Superbook does, where like the kids in Superbook are helping Elisha and they fill the stuff for the sacrifices, those episodes. But in the way where it like completely rewrites the story that Caleb and they were instrumental because this, that, and the other of killing a demon and stuff, and they like it. I'm sorry, I have like PTSD when it comes to these kind of concepts, that it just goes off the rail. Recent comic that we've been covering that I was really enjoying, I am really skeptical about it and the concept on a whole. So if it goes on that path on like these time traveling angels and children were instrumental to certain Bible stories in a completely different way to how it is presented in scripture, we gonna have a bone to pick. But other than that, I really enjoyed. So for the final category of my recommendation is a 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed the first issue and can't wait for the rest, despite my reservations towards the concept, particularly after seeing what is in store for the story from Instagram posts and the art and story guide. Going through the art and story guide actually lit a fire under me to start properly conceptualizing and typing out an idea I have had for a Christian story with a similar concept to Calvary Academy's affinity system, their affinities, You will know about those in the future as we go through the series when future issues come up. Just wanted to put that out there as part of the reason we make these breakdown videos are to critique and build up, not bash and tear down, especially for these amazing budding Christian creatives like Joel, as well as those within the Xplanations community that are in the early conceptualizing process of their own stories and are looking for examples and inspiration from Christian fiction done right. I think it's appropriate for me to plug our community Discord that we are in the midst of a community revamp to foster a space for Christian creatives. Link is in the description, as well as the link to get your own copy of Calvary Academy Issue 1, which gets an overall score of 4.6 out of 5 from the Xplanations. If you enjoyed the video, then why not consider leaving a like on it and subscribing for more reviews and coverage of comics made by professing believers. If you enjoyed the video to the point you want to check out another one on the channel, then be sure to click the card at the top right hand corner of your screen to check out our other Calvary Academy reviews as they come out in the future. Yes, I know you're excited to see more of the series just as I am, but issue 1 just came out a few weeks ago, so we have to give them some time to cook. Or you can click this video to check out a time a God-hating man managed to successfully open a portal to heaven and willingly took a 1v1 with an angel.